Greetings. Let's see here. I got all sorts of audio tracks playing. Yeah. I'll minimize that. Okay, stop that. Oh my. It never is easy. There we go. Get back over here. Hi. Welcome to a live stream event on Saturday. Let me push my camera back. My name is John Skippy Limcool. Welcome. Hope you are all doing well. It's a nice cloudy day. I wish I was out doing photography, but I like to talk to you guys on Saturdays for a little while, and then I'll go do photography. So it's all good. Let me see something here. I need to pop this up. Boom, 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 boom. That looks all right. How are you doing? I hope things are well. Things are good and exciting and crazy and all that kind of stuff here. Let's see. Like that. There. And it's crooked. All these details to fix. My goodness. Okay, so that's better. I need to copy this link. Greetings, everybody. Let's see. Let's copy this. I got to get Facebook involved, so copy. I saw Deadpool 2 last night, by the way. I can highly recommend it. If you've seen Deadpool 1, it is more of the insanity. The humor is crazy. If you're offended by things, don't go see it because it's got some stuff that is pretty raunchy at times. But the heart of it is really good, so it's a good story. Let's see. Live stream happening right now. We did enjoy it, my daughter and I, must admit. So we are looking at a couple different things today. There is a free plugin that just came out that's really nice that you guys should check out if you want. I will tell you now, instead of making it be like a mystery till the very end. I know some guys would probably do that, but I won't. Let me show you what this does. Let's do this. Let's have a blank track. Let's have Serum. And I'm going to put Serum over here. And actually, I'm going to do this. Let's see if I can do this. See if I can keep it a secret for a minute. It might pop up on the main screen, and then the secret is over. Nope. Okay, good. So you don't see it yet, right? Okay, so here's Serum. What's cool with this is it's a free plugin for stereo imaging, and it can take a mono signal. Let's do this. Let's make it a decent sound, or at least a sound to start with, so that we have, right? So let's do this. Let me sequence something really quick. So it's solo, so it's just this, and so we have this nice little monophonic. Oh, I need to. Got that right? What if you can take this and by using just a slider, give it great stereo imaging? And what's cool with the stereo imaging, usually with stereo image processors, there's all sorts of things done with delay and phase. So if I go to my utility to gain, I think it's the I/O, I can choose this, right? Not that. I want to use this. So this is going to be playing. I can hit mono. There's no phase cancellation. It's a new effect by our friends at Polyverse called Wider. And it's very cool. You just have a slider here to just... And you can do some fun things. I've done things like, if you want, you could set your automation in your sequencer and try this. And if you go to mono, you don't hear any of the tricks that you were doing to the stereo imaging. Just go to the polyversemusic.com, I believe is the website. Here, let me pop it up and confirm. Yes, it's Polyverse Music. And these crazy nuts have a new effect called Whiter. And there they are, being all hip and cool. Gatekeeper, I can't recommend high enough. It's such a great visual. It's like a step-up turbocharged version of LFO tool for many of you to use. Manipulator, I'm still trying to figure out how to use. It does all sorts of audio manipulation stuff. But the Whiter effect is a really cool effect in that it can do some cool stereo imaging that when it gets summed to it used to be that you had to worry how things... You still got to make sure when you sum the mono, it sounds good, right? I mean, it's still a given. You got to do that. But so that is the free mystery plugin, Whiter by Polyverse. So check that out. If you need to do some width, just a little enhancing, it's great on shakers. It's great on percussion elements and stuff like that. We could take this, let's put this onto BreakTweaker, for example. And I could take this groove. This is from Urban, the new library we're bringing out. Just make it huge. And then singing down the middle, you'd have all this nice stereo width for your voice to be in the middle, totally mono. Be very cool. And we'll get more into this. I'm going to show you the full library. The library comes out this week, so I'm really excited. And there's all sorts of crazy plans for it. It's more than just the library by itself. I'm looking at ways to convert it to a number of different formats. So be on the lookout. There's some cool stuff. I'll announce, and I'm not going to make it like you buy it for one format, not knowing what else is going to be coming out, because I don't like when people do that kind of stuff. But it will be coming out in a number of formats and a number of different ways to work. So I'm going to turn this off because I don't want this affecting things when I'm showing BreakTweaker. So mainly we have two things to do today. Let me see here. Yeah, it's the widen function from Manipulator, but it's free. So hold on a second here. Got it already. Yeah, they did a nice mail campaign, so there's a good chance that it's already known by many of you, but a lot of you might not have known about it. It's fun to go. Do you use Xverse Nerve these days? You know, I like Nerve, and it might be one to look at bringing out Urban 4 because you can do so much with the timing, pushing and pulling a timing. It's incredible for that. And I just don't think many people use it. So it's not coming up for that first. It's kind of a numbers game in some respects that I have to be aware of. But we have 45 grooves inside of this library for BreakTweaker. And they're great. They go all over the place, all the current kind of cutting edge stuff. I'll show those in a minute. Then the other thing we're going to work on is this song. I'm going to show you some ideas for how to add elements and stuff to get this. Oh, wait, let me make sure that this is that serum part I played. I don't want that. So we got this, right? Give me a little more headroom. We're going to enhance this and do some more things. And somehow I think we're going to try to get into an urban groove for the second half of it somehow. So those are the two goals for the day. And we're going to start with BreakTweaker and the Urban Library. I'm almost done with the library. So you guys are kind of coming along with me for a half a day of work kind of thing. I have some grooves that are almost done as far as when we do a library. This is the third library for BreakTweaker. And unlike all the other grooves that are provided by Isotope, and I don't know of anybody else that has dug into making libraries. There's a lot of you that have this. They've had these crazy sales for low prices. A lot of people have bought BreakTweaker, and you know you need to feed it new sounds. And so we have some really cool stuff coming out. And our layout is the same for every groove in all three libraries. We're really proud that we have a layout that makes sense, that makes it usable. Let me do this. I need to get a, I'm gonna get a serum playing in the background. You won't see much of it except for the keyboard. I'll turn it down so you don't hear it. So let's turn that off, But now you see keys. Because the keyboard inside of Logic Pro that I usually use is currently broken. Maybe someday they will fix it. I'm not part of their beta team, so I'm not involved in telling them stuff. But low C is the main groove. Actually, the octave below that is where you find the 6 lanes. BreakTweaker is 6 lanes of 6 different sounds. Each sound can actually be up to 3 layers, although I highly recommend never, ever, ever doing that, because adding more than 1 layer, all of a sudden your CPU spikes like a rabbit on steroids and your computer will die. And they've never fixed it. They've never addressed it in like 3 years. So I'm not that happy with that fact that the interface has never been widened to where this all fits on one screen. They've never addressed CPU to make it more efficient when it's just playing samples back. It should be able to do this like yawning and not taking up 80% of your computer processor at times. But it still is fun to program with. You can do crazy things that are just impossible anywhere else. So many guys write and ask me to keep making libraries for it that we're still supporting it. But as far as just the company side of things, I wish they would add more support to this, or at least let people know something about it, because when it first came out and it's like, wait, you can't see all 2 measures of the window pane when you're working on it. You're working on it and you have to scroll over here all the time. It's never been fixed. But the sound of it is great. The quality of it is great. So you have 6 lanes, 6 different sounds. We made our own samples. We made our grooves in our own sequencing pro. It was myself and NATO Fields. And so NATO did a lot of these. I did a handful of them. We put it together. It's a really cool setup. But the rule is this. So C is the main groove. D is an alternative groove. Something's changed. C sharp is always just the groove without tonality. Sometimes we add the sub, sometimes we don't. And then E flat or D sharp, F, or D sharp, E and F are 3 different fills. Starting with a simple fill. F is a more complex. And then F is usually just bonkers. Rap over that, right? And then F sharp is without snare. G is without kick. This is just the high energy. And actually, here, let me fix this track. Save. Overwrite, yes. And then A is just the snare by itself. So you can play back and forth between the notes to make all sorts of grooves. So it's really fun to work with. We have 45 of these. I'll show all of these 45 next week. I'm not gonna go through every one today. But they're slamming. Here's your main groove. So they're all over the place. There's a few towards the end that are not done. And so we're going to work on those together. I think Stars is one that doesn't have anything. To start with, we make the main groove, and then we take it. Hey there, Snowdrift. Is that the problem? I love BreakTweaker for functionality, but it suddenly gets insanely hurtful on CPU when I'm working with it. Yes, they did an upgrade right after it came out that fixed a few serious problems, but that's the only, it was an incremental upgrade like within like a month of the release of BreakTweaker, and there's not been a single update to date since then. Someone was saying that they have a new downloading system for downloading libraries, but yeah, its CPU usage depends on how many layers are used, and in some of our other libraries, we even went so far with some of these as to say CPU at the end, because like this sounds like it shouldn't be taking up that much power, right? But here's my computer, right? The grooves are just great. All these libraries are so fun. But so what we do is, for me, I actually start these in Logic and build the sounds up for each of the 6 sounds, and then have a MIDI file sequence of the groove, and then spit out the audio for each of those, load them into BreakTweaker, then reprogram the groove inside of BreakTweaker. There's a song called Stars. It's on Pop. Really cool. Love it. So this is basically that groove. And now this needs to be expanded out to all these other notes. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You have your groove. You've made it somewhere else. Here, let's see. I could almost do this. Let's see if I can try this. It will kill my microphone, but I'm going to show you the original. Well, see if I can try it. See if I can try it. Open. It might mess everything up, but you know, I like to take chances and risks with stuff like this. I'm kind of crazy with this stuff. So, OMG Urban Work. Here's the Logic files. Here's Stars. I'm going to say, I'll be back. You're not going to hear me for a minute. Is that better? Test 1, 2. Am I back? Hopefully I'm back. Can you sign? I wish I could sign. Do you hear me? Okay, good. Okay, good. We're back. Sorry. I wish I could change songs and not have it mess up the live stream software, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So what I showed you in mime form was one of the grooves in Logic that is made for this library. The idea being I wanted to show you the feel and how it's different than BreakTweaker. This is nice, but it's not quite the same. And so I'm going to be bringing these out in a number of different formats. I'm kind of still playing with how to do this because it's a lot. But this will be coming out originally for just BreakTweaker. That's all I can handle at a time because it's just me, even with Taylor, my assistant, and helping and so forth. But we're going to also be bringing it out as drum kits for Super Macho drums. And there'll be MIDI files for all of these grooves, plus additional ones. I'll make a whole bunch of additional MIDI files. Plus, I'm also going to be bringing it out so that it will work inside of Ableton Live and Logic Pro. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm using there to do that yet. Whether it will be EXS24, which is what I'm kind of leaning towards, or Ultra Drum if I can find a fast way to build it up. But the idea being this. For the Contact 5 library, you need to own the full version of Contact 5, and you need to own Super Macho drums, and this is going to be an inexpensive additional kit add-on for Super Macho drums. It uses the resources of Super Macho drums for the interface, so you have to own this library. It'll just be NKI files that will load up and load you with the new drum samples for this library, because we've got all these really cool urban sounds that we've created. Let me see if I can go over here and... Are you going to play? Oh, here. There's all sorts of... So all these kits will be inside of Super Macho drums as an add-on. And they can follow the tempo of your song, or you can... Right? So today what we're doing is this one. I need to fill it out. It doesn't have any of the additional... Oh, let's go see if I go over here to... Is it like this? Yeah. It doesn't have the additional stuff, so I'm going to... Sorry for that long introduction. Okay. I'm talking to iZotope. Maybe don't buy BreakTweaker today. I'm talking to them about hopefully maybe a deal for my customers that don't have this to get it on some sort of a discounted plan. They haven't got back to me yet. So if you want to maybe save money, wait. It's something that will happen when the library comes out. But that's in the works. I just haven't heard back from them. So stay tuned on that. I think it's worth the money. I mean, the grooves that we've got they're fire. They're really inspiring. So for that alone, I think it's worth the money. I wish they made it a little bit more efficient in a bigger setup. The other things they could do to improve it. It's still a really cool plugin. But we're talking to them about something, and there's no guarantee. I'm a little more open with you guys than I probably should be, but I don't want someone to be mad at me by buying it now and then all of a sudden we have some sort of a opportunity in a week. So stay tuned if you want, or buy it today if you want. Just depends on who you are, and if you could use it today in a music production, then get it. So with that being said, we're now going to look at how do you work with BreakTweaker's interface and what I need to, and you know, I'm not going to reprogram this on every note by, okay, it's quarter notes. So go to this and go quarter notes to get that, right? Don't have to do that. If you right click, there's all sorts of options and opportunities. You can select one of the objects and right click to just copy that single object. you can right click and go to track and copy just that track if you want just this part right here. Or you can go to pattern and you can say copy the whole pattern. And once you've copied the whole pattern, go here, go to pattern, say paste. And how can we mix it up? Maybe instead of this for the hi-hat, if you double click, it makes objects, the timing objects go away. Okay, so I like this. So I'm going to copy by holding down Shift and clicking on these. And then say copy. And then go right here to the start of this new groove right here and say paste. There. All right. Break. 3. There we go. Now, since this doesn't have the tonality elements like a lot of these, I can copy this pattern and on C#, paste. Let's do this. Let's make it even simpler. And if you click right here, you're dragging. I'm trying to get no syncopated feel on the hi-hats for this one. So here, let me get rid of these real quick, because if you paste and there's something existing, so go like that and then go like this and hold down Shift. And I think I can get all of them in one. Control click, copy, and then paste. There. And let's make this one just a double. And this is the thing with BreakTweaker that's unique, is right here. This division. Let's do it like this. Let's say, just for fun, let's take this where it's empty and let's take the hi-hat. And yes, these are not named right. So hi-hat. If we ambi snare. That's a clap from my daughter and myself. J and H clap. And another clap from Hannah and myself. Because you don't hear it necessarily, but that first clap is in the downbeat with the kick. So if you solo this and this, it just adds an additional element to that kick. And then you add the snare and the clap together, and you get this kind of cool marching kind of a groove. Let's do this. Let's go over here to this track and go clear. Oh, I was showing this. Okay, so there's one hi-hat in one of these objects. If I want, I can drag this to be like a whole beat. And then if you go here to division, whatever value you set this up to 256, even makes a pitch. And if you go tension, you can, so all the cool BT stuff on all those records where it's like going, slows down, it's using BreakTweaker. So the bouncing ball effect and all that stuff, very easy to do with this. So by using those types of tools, let's see, clear. And then we need to do the fills. So let's go paste. Oh, we don't have the copy pattern. And then go here, paste this. So for the fills, this is the simplest fill. So I always like to have like the busy snare stuff. Because that way when you're playing your groove, if you need this little fill, it's there. Just call up when you need it. Okay, so we got a fill. Keep going. The next fill, let's do this. Let's copy from the original. Copy, paste. And then go here and paste. And then over here on the effects, they have things like digital, raw, things to change the sound. And under fade, they have fade in or fade out. So let's have a fade in. And I want to have it have like a big boom. And then everybody stops until this snare hits. And it's kind of cool. If you look right here, this tension allows you to shift it so that it will line up the timing with these little markers right here, which are your timing intervals for division of 16th notes. So you can get it set up so that if you set this to the right settings, this last one is actually a 16th note at this point. If I had this at a different amount, now it's rushing into that, so it doesn't have the same feel. So if you want, you can So that's kind of crazy. And let's do this. We can have these be a little bit of dynamics. So we have the velocity. And let's have this build. So go soft, a little bit louder. There. And even just doing that, my computer's having problems. I mean, look at just the triggering of 6 samples. So yeah, what can I say? Let me check this chat real quick. Proud new language user, Honest here 2.4. Thanks for all the help. Yeah, make sure if the picture is blurry, there's a setting that you can go to on the video. It's a little tool wrench thing, and you can click that under settings, and you can choose the quality. Make sure it says 720. I think it says auto 720. but set it to what you need. So, okay, so the fourth one, let's not do the fourth one yet because that will kill everything. So copy pattern. Now the breakdowns. These are fairly fast. So you paste. First one's no snare. So this is snare part. Okay. Go to the next one, paste the pattern, no kick. So we go to track, clear. And maybe I'll clear this too, since that's part of the... Okay. And then go to the third one, pattern. Oh, I lost it. So go here, pattern, copy. Here, pattern, paste. And here you just go to track and say clear to each of these that are kick or snare elements. Track, clear, and clear. Oh, and clear. Oh wait, that's supposed to be on the on G sharp. So pattern, copy, and put that here. Pattern, paste. Then this last one, pattern, clear. And this one is just the snares. So we have, and I like to have the hi-hat so it's like it's a sample. Like, so now you have everything you need. Let's bring this down just a little bit. I don't want it to jump quite. More complex pattern, simpler pattern, or the regular pattern. And I'll do this last fill later because it will kill the computer. I can tell. It's just, you start doing the busy timing things like this, and my audio goes bad and my earbuds and everything like that. So I will do that offline. But that's how we build these patterns from the main groove. You start with one groove and then you copy it to the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 other groove patterns. So each one of these has 10 patterns. Okay. Great. I go zapping and then. I wish I could rap. It's not my thing. Here's Streetcar. So this one I was in the middle of working on, and I got down to this point last night before I went to see the movie with my daughter. So here's where we are. So I've got the main groove. I got the alternate groove. I'm going to turn these down just a little bit so it doesn't hit. Then I have the breakdown groove. Doesn't have the sub. First fill is a D sharp. And I have a little lead in with the sub. It's kind of fun. And then the second fill is on E. And then F, we have to go crazy. Maybe we'll try to go crazy on this one, see what happens. But let's go pattern, copy, F sharp, pattern, paste, pattern, paste. I'm just going to paste it to these notes because these are the three that need to be. This is no snare, and my snare is this part. It's actually a wave drum sample that I created. So track clear. And this one we get rid of the subs. We go track clear, track clear. Now, I'm going to make this really simple. Let's go pattern copy, pattern paste for this last one. So that way I just have to get rid of the snare track and I'm done. Clear. And then the snare needs to be so soft. Cool. Yeah, I have some plans to upgrade the resolution of this future streams. I've got some interesting ideas. My dad does video and audio for schools and courtrooms, and there's some cool technological things happening there. So, no, if Rodney Dangerfield wants to rap, that's good, but that's funny, Tim. Okay, so we are to the final fill because everything else. So let's copy the basic groove, paste it in here, and let's go crazy. Let's have this one be like well, what's fun with this is you can actually have each one of these elements let's do this. Have this stop. I have a kick on this downbeat, but and we're going to have a funny lead in right here with a ton of notes going crazy. Fade in, and you can change the curve so you don't hear it at the beginning at all. And let's have the open hi-hat. Let's have the raw. Let's have this be like 30-second notes. We want this to be, if you hold down the command key, you can get increments of exact values. So let's have this be 16, so it's twice as fast as the first one. Yeah, you can use your own samples. That's how I'm building these. These are all custom samples. If you want, all you have, let me save this because we're going to mess this up. Save, yes. What's fun with it is that, yeah, you can use your own samples. In fact, we could say new and take each one of these, just click right here and say, I want it to be a sample or a synth. And once you say sample, you can click to browse, and they have a folder that you would place the samples. And we have organized them. As you can see, the first library was in the 90s, then the 80s and 70s, and now we're in the 60s for the urban. So if we want, we could go to, let's go Mega Macho Drums. Mega Macho Drums had a lot of folders, a lot of categories, and these are all samples from Mega Macho Drums. Say we like that, and for this one we want it to be, let's say, a snare. So you say sample, click on browse, go here to urban snares. Now, the other thing that's cool, we haven't done this yet for this library, but that's one of the last steps we do, is we save out what are called presets for everything that we do. So for OMG, it's organized both by genre, because OMG has a lot of genres in one library, and then there's Guru, and then there's Guru OMG, and soon there's going to be a Guru like urban or herb or something at the end of the name, so that it fits into the list with everything. But here are finalized from the actual grooves. So a lot of these have programming added to them. So go down the list to snares. And then finally, for this last one, we'll call up a preset again, and this time we want it to be chill and hi-hats. Or a percussion thing, let's say like that, okay? So now all you do is you just click these buttons to make the pattern. And you're grooving. If you want, you can have something that does the... And you notice as you make it a smaller, if I make it a long, it's taking up much more time this way. So these divisions, it becomes much faster in timing if you shorten the length of the how long it's playing this timing event. Break these longer. Stuff like that. You can also do crazy things like this tambourine has ambience on it, right? So if you want, you can put one right here and then right click and have it be a choke. So now put another one right here and choke. And have this one be a choke. Now, one thing about BreakTweaker, there is no swing parameter. So if you want something to swing, what you have to do is you have to have it take up 2 timing events, like say we want 16th notes or we want 8th notes, go like this and make it 2 events, and then you use tension, and this changes the swing amount. Right? So you see how this, let's mute this. Hear the kick. The timing of this is different than the kick because of doing it this way, and now I have a swing amount I can apply. So if I took this and I said copy and I said paste up here, I said paste here, and I could even go to this one and change this value to be a little bit different. I can even force it to be 2 8th notes instead of a 16th note. So there's all sorts of things you can do once you get into the subtleties of how this works with the divisions and so forth. One other thing that's kind of cool, let's say that we load up something like one more hi-hat part, right? You can do all sorts of, if you want to get into like really obscure land. It's got a pitch. Let's go over to effects and make it kind of raw. Now over here under slope, there's all these different things that will change the timing values of this event. And now the actual pitch of the sample changes the harmonic brightness of that pitch. And then the number of repeats in this change the pitch. So you can have some fun for sure with and different one of these. So there's all sorts of new territory. People still haven't really used this much for that stuff. Hey, Henrik, welcome. Are all the tracks in your set here single layer? Yes. This is just samples for the most part. I'm not getting into the things that cause it to typically freak out. That would be, again, like these CPU things. Yeah. This is where you get to where the CPU is like, even something like this. My audio's messed up. But this is playing with that swing stuff I was talking about. So getting that timing style like that. Fun stuff. There's all sorts of possible places to go with it. So anyway, I'm going to stop there with the BreakTweaker stuff because I want to play with this song a little bit. But if there's questions, pop them up. Send them an email to me if you have questions. There was one more that I wanted to work on finishing. I think is it Sunshine? No, Sunshine's done. We did Streetcar for the most part. Oh, we're going to do Crazy on the fill. Oh, we did. That's pretty cool. I'm having this library. I gave native direction in that I didn't want it to be so far out. There's some of them that Seth did and other people did for like this library here where such great grooves. Oh, wait a minute, I think. Yeah, this is the other one that's not done. But I'll do this one on my own. It's okay. I can do the last one myself. Thank you very much. But hopefully you have the idea of how to work with BreakTweaker. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to play with. Rhythm as an experimentation, and you're not playing per se like having to sequence it in real time. It's right in front of you, grid-based, which is kind of nice for a lot of you guys that are not so deep into the programming of drums on their own merit. So that's where it comes into being pretty handy. And to get that on the hi-hat, it's just because it's set to 4th repeats inside of this event. And I could change the tension. If I want to rush it just a little bit. And some of these, like right here, if I wanted to really get this to be a little bit more feel, I would go like this and have it be just a little bit late. Hear that? You can even do this with the snare. Have it be like this. Have it be 2 events. And then by changing the tension, you can have your snare be just a little bit late on that second one. That's a little too late. But you see what you can do. So let's get back to 2. Just a little bit late, 25. That's 26, so we need 25. There. There. Just a little off. I like that. So that's how you get into intricate timing for feel inside of BreakTweaker, is by taking two events like this kick and that kick. If I wanted to have like, this is the if I wanted to get, it's like, add this to two events. I'll come back here. There, that's better. Maybe 43. No, 44. Or 42. So you can see how just one value makes a big difference, but that's how you get the feel. Don't want it to be totally perfect to grid. So that's how you can trick the timing of this a little bit, if you so desire. Okay, so that is our break. Let's see, any questions over here? Notice your cup. Is that a studio safe cup? It's got a nice bottom to it. And it was half empty when I started. So, you're welcome. I'm glad the tips are helping. Yeah. And then I have my bottle of water with a plastic lid on top. So we're even more safe with that. All right, so now we are shifting gears slightly. We were working last week on a track. And here's where we are from last week. Here's where we left our hero last week. Hey, Bernie, welcome. It's okay to be late. We don't keep attendance here. Okay, so we have this idea. What can we do? One of the best tips to get something to have a feel is to have real feel. And there's a couple ways to do it. I don't have any percussion instruments up here. You could play a real shaker. Another place to go, even though it is a little bit on the aged side, shall we say, but it's from our own beloved Omnis Spectrasonics, and that would be all the percussion loops inside of Stylus RMX are a great place to go to find all sorts of rhythmic inspiration to make something on top of the grooves and stuff that are in the core library of grooves. All these, we don't hear sound because, yeah. On top of all these different grooves, there's another place to go right here, groove elements, where when you get to shakers, there's all of these grooves of shakers. And if we set host sync, do that, go to the effects, stand a little bit more. Now, what's nice with Stylus RMX is that you can go over here to part 2. Let's go here to our groove elements. Maybe congas. And we don't want them to sound like congas. So this is where you go to the effects. the effects to the edit page. Maybe get some more edge on that with another effect, compressor. Something like that. You can even turn on chaos to give a little randomness. Then turn it down in the mix so it's just soft. There's a place like that to look for adding something to this groove. Still not requiring you to play anything per se. The other place to go would be to add elements yourself of things. So say we wanted to add something, and then there's a cool, let's do it this way. Someone was talking about Nerve earlier. So let's call up Nerve. Those of you that don't know about Nerve, part of my job is just to let you know what's out and what's available to play with. And then you can decide if you want to add it to your toolbox. This is a really cool, this is made by Extra Records before Serum. They brought out LFO Tool, they brought out Nerve. There's a couple other things that he's brought out that are, Cthulhu is interesting. And here you have all these different presets, drum kits, and the presets, if you go to the factory stuff, let's see, to get this to play, I think I have to hit play. It's just solo. So you can take a groove like this, turn on solo. Now the bass sound, let's see, which one's the bass sound? There it is. I think you can just control click it, or is it, no, there's, there, I think it's command. That mutes it. So now it's, what else is here playing that we don't want? Well, we could also do this. I mean, if you do get this library, if you do get, and there's some cool stuff in here for sure. There's some crazy ideas that they've played, experimented with. And what's fun with this is that with this, you can go to all these different things, including late, and play the timing. In a cool way. Go to pan. Let's go to that. And go to pan. It's very easy to play with and get crazy stuff happening. So if we want to put this into this groove, but we don't want it to take up the whole floor, because it's a little bit too much, right? So let's use EQ. This is one of those cases where EQ can be your friend to go in. Let's just use maybe even the linear phase EQ so it stays nice and tidy. And you can do something as simple as just bringing up a low pass and a high pass filter just to control so that it's only So that's another place to look and add elements that, again, I'm not playing anything. I'm just adding things that are giving me cool groove abilities. Another place is Apple Loops. If you have Logic Pro X at your disposal, there's all of these. If you hit the loop button right here, you could say shaker, and it will pop up a ton of different shakers. Right? There should be some. Yeah, here we go, like a remix. Just drag it down here somewhere where there's no track, and it will make a new track, and it's locked to tempo already, so that it's in there. You could say guitar, a strum. It's the acoustic. Let's go for electric strum. Harp, cool. How about to say mute too? Strum mute. That might be cool, but for something like this, I would probably high pass filter it right away, just because I want that like high energy stuff for something fun. Let's go over here, EQ, just add a. Now I have all sorts of different things happening that I could build around. And then when I need to solo, you know. Oh, that's not in time, is it? Whoops, why aren't you in time? So let's say delete. And tempo should be 120, right? So. If you want, you can hit the flex tool. Let's say rhythmic. And then quantize it to 16th notes. So at least it's in time. Whatever it was doing, it's now been forced to follow the time of everything else. That's kind of fun. So there's all sorts of places to look to get rhythmic percussion ideas, which then at this point you could go to your song and get up here to Omnisphere and find the part that's going to fit for this that you want. We could go over here to a viola. So I can capture that just like that and quantize. So there's all sorts of places to go to come up with ideas. Let's see. Anybody? Any questions? I just want to make sure that I'm not just like spinning my wheels for, yeah, it's kind of Bollywoodish, right? We could even more Bollywood. So in a case like this, we would want to So we need to take this and make it not quite so stringy and more, well, more in your face stringy. So less reverb. Let's get to play a little bit faster. Let's look at our EQ that we're currently using. And then maybe find that there's a note in there that needs to be twisted. Yeah. But to really get there, I would, instead of that vibe, I'd be like a... Gotta... You know, something like that. Gotta have that type of a vibe, right? And then on top of that, maybe go to part 5. And we would need to go to Mega Magic Bells and Winds. Did I have Bells and Winds loaded? I thought I loaded it up. Oh, come on. Well, we could use a... And I think I have the... Let me see something. I think I have the Bells and Winds samples loaded. Mega Magic Bells and Winds. I don't. Rats. I thought I had all of those guys loaded up. I thought I had set everything up for today. Of course, the one thing I want to go to isn't there. There, that might work. So let's see. I want to layer it with something else. So we're gonna build a sound. To be a sample, and let's go to one of the other libraries that we have here. Maybe a cool vocal sample. Let's shift the whole thing down an octave. There. This almost needs harmonia to give me one more octave lower. So we're gonna like make it an even more like maybe an octave up. Maybe an octave down here. There it is. That's cool. So let's do this. Let's add that. Okay. Let's see what happens if it keeps going. Skippy, will there be a demo on Omnisphere 2.5? There will be when 2.5 is out. Until then, I cannot show it or talk about it any more than just say I can't show it or talk about it. It's in beta, so when it's ready to be shown, then we can look at all the features and stuff and talk about it. But until then, we just enjoy 2.4 and be happy. then right there for the second time when the big bass, let's have it. We're gonna have it the first time it just plays straight tone. Hey, Dinkard. And then right there, something cool is gonna happen. Sounds Arabic. Yeah, I'm kind of going like I've got my Bollywood moments going here. So, oh wait, that's right. That's the second time through I play the chord progression. So major 5. And right there, let's get to our urban groove. And I think this might work. Let's try something fun. I'm gonna try to force it to be in halftime. So we'll take a look at some of these grooves and we have that pitch and we need it to be E flat. So what you can do in a case like that, here's the tonal. You have tuning right here for the sample. And I need to make sure it's in sync with this. So let's take a look at right now. The sync is set internally. So let's close this. Let's see if that works. So we're going out on a limb here. So let's try it. Cool. So let's quantize that so it's right on time where we want it. And then from there, we could add more and more to it. Actually, let's do this. Let's have it start here. We'll let this first part be its thing. Cool. And yeah, nice. And then on top of this, we need something to build up. So let's do this. Go back to Omnisphere and I hold down Control and return. Go to track 6. And let's go to one of the libraries. I think I have where might we find Impact? We had all sorts of things we put into this library for these BPM falls and rises. So let's do a 16 major, 16 beat. Right? So let's see how that works. So all we do is play a note right here. Cool. Now, what's fun with these is that if we don't like that sample, if that's not quite the vibe we want, we can go over here to Northern Impact and go through something more sparse. That's kind of cool. To make it stand out a little more, because that type of sound doesn't have as much frequency, Mod Envelope 1 is that shape. We could go over here to the effects, to like the EQ, and modulate this with that same envelope shape, Mod Envelope 1. So the high EQ is going to come up. And let's also have it do the mid EQ. Mod Sources, Envelope 1. And then I'm finding the frequency where there's more content. So that's more subtle. Let's see how that works. And then right there, you could go to anything you wanted to add. Let's see, we have, no, we could just add a new instrument. Even something built in would be fun. Just like the vintage EP. We're in E flat, we're gonna do major. Let's see how that works, because we're going from kind of a minor thing. I don't know if this is gonna work. Got my 07 going now, right? Oh, that's fun. Let's see that. All right. So again, possibilities are endless with this stuff. That's what's so fun with sounds, and where do they take you and what you can do with them and stuff. So and then on top of that, maybe we would go to Omnisphere Part 7 and find a cool bass. Maybe let's find a BPM pulse bass. It might be fun. So let's go to like Omnipulse. Now this might be fast, right? You might be like, really? Let's see. too fast. We're going to fix it. Okay, so how do we fix that? Because we don't want this, like, it's so busy. It's like fighting with the syncopation of everything else. Well, this is where the editing of the arpeggiator pattern will be nice. For one thing, it's not quite so swingy. Let's go to eighth notes. Let's go to the release. And since I'm not, the arp timing, I could go here and I could drag here to make each one longer, but you don't have to do that. If you hit link and go to the amp release, it should. I should be able to get longer than that. Why am I not? Let's probably here. Wow. What is keeping this from working for me? So let's take a look here. I like a good challenge. That doesn't make sense, does it? It should be releasing. Hey, John, maybe a filter on the beat before introducing the BreakTweaker. You guys are talking core. Yeah. Let me see something real quick. Oh, you know what? It's the filter. That's what it is. It's clamping down so fast on the sound. Filters. There we go. So I needed to relax the filter envelope. It was so short it wasn't picking up any release. So now I have more to play with, and I have to make it mono so it can't get muddy. It's kind of like, this is the mega magic trick to bass sounds, and make it a mono sound. So that way, instead of being, if you sit solo, you always hear just the pitch. There's no bleed over because it's not given additional notes to play with. So now let's see, I need this to cut more though. So let's go to the synth part's not gonna do it for me, but this might. There's a lot going on there, so let's show the random. There. Let's see how this works. No. It was an experiment. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That definitely doesn't work. But we had fun. Hopefully you have, guys, some ideas. This is all just fun ideas. Yes, you can use the MIDI files from Stylus all the time. Is a great place to get MIDI file feel for grooves, stuff that you've got going on. A great place. We can maybe look at that in a future video. I think I'm going to wrap it up at about here. Any questions? Gonna get back to work, get these libraries done. Really happy with Urban, how it's turning out. It's really a fresh bunch of sounds that are inspiring. So I'm going to get that out this week. Let's do our shout outs. Shout out. Thank you for joining me, guys. It's been a great day. Hopefully giving you some ideas. These libraries are all made to work together. So I'm going to do more of these where I'm showing different libraries working together. That's kind of the fun thing to keep in mind is one by itself is not meant to work just by itself. It's totally capable of working with the guitars, work with the bells and winds, work with Creature-esque, which worked with all the other libraries. So, oh my gosh. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome, Dankard, my friend. From Heidelberg, Germany, Sweden. You're welcome, William. Destin, Munich. Hi, Bruce from Bothell, Washington, right on up north of the street. You're welcome, Tim. Ivar, EQ in the rhythm section. Yeah, that would be useful to split out and get a little bit more clarity in this mix where we're at. Great show. Thank you, Paul. Shout out from Copenhagen. Thanks, JX. Nottingham. Munich, Germany, Thailand. Good grief. You guys are all over the place. Ivar from Norway. It's awesome. Well, hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Food for thought. We'll be doing more of this next week, I think, because we'll be more in showing the urban library and playing with it in its context and all the things you can do with that. They're really cool sounds. So, oh, Nicaragua. Cool, Ken. Good to see you, man. Johans in Sweden. Awesome. Awesome. You guys are all, it's great to see you guys. Glad to do this. All right. See you later. Be well. If you need sounds, plugandgroove.com. That's where you go. Thank you.